night of her accident, she sideswiped this pole, it's cracked. She kind of went this way into the road a little bit, you could have seen the tire tracks. She overcorrected this way. Her front wheels hit this side, this dirt hill. They dug in. You can actually still see the tire tracks. So she continued this way for a little while and took out a few poles.
In this case, it involved someone that was integrated in our school system, lived in our township, and the victim was well known throughout the community. So the way that myself and my partner handled this was a bit more delicate, based around drunk driving in general. That accident specifically, it was bad because it just happened in a blink of an eye. The car, it had 3 very young women in it. This was pretty much up there for me in the sense that the people involved were young.
Massive head trauma. That was the cause of her death, was blunt head trauma. She fractured her skull in about 4 different areas. If you lose your husband or your wife, you're a widow or a widower. You lose your parents, you're an orphan. And there's no word in the English language to describe a parent who's lost a child. It's just the worst thing. You just don't do it. Don't get in the car when you're drinking. You think you're okay, but you're not. Your inhibitions are gone.
Before the accident, we were just, a typical family. My son is the oldest of 4. His name is Stephen Wall. What happened was my son was driving on Route 78. He was in the middle lane. He was going with traffic, and it was at exit 36 that another car came up in the left lane, was passing the other traffic, and literally just moved into the center lane where my son's car was. They crashed, and both cars went careening off of the road. I mean, I'm angry. I'm mostly just sad. I just have a sadness that lives inside of me every day now and will for the rest of my life.
Drinking and driving is something that you should avoid at all costs. I'm a former student here, graduated in 1979. There was an unfortunate incident during those years in the late 70s where 3 people have lost their lives due to drunken driving. I knew them all personally. 2 who graduated my year, 1 and then 1 who would have graduated in 1980. The nature of somebody losing their lives, a limb, or it could be out of anything. Going to a parent, going back to a house where a high school student or a juvenile or a young adult lost their lives because of drinking and driving, and you have to tell that parent that their loved one had passed, their child had passed. I have 2 daughters. I remember going through those stages, and I don't know how I would react if one of my 2 daughters had subsequently died in a motor vehicle accident due to alcohol and drugs being used.
My mother has been chronically drinking ever since I can remember. It would just be multiple glasses of wine at night. When I was younger, I didn't really understand what it meant to have a drinking problem. On March 31st, 2011, I was in a drunk driving accident. I was on my way to a karate tournament, and little did 10-year-old me know that she had had too much to drink. We were on Route 31 North, heading about 55 to 60 miles an hour, and we came up to a light. The light changed to red and we weren't slowing down. At the last second, she hit the brakes. We did crash into the car in front of us. I later found out had a young married couple in it with a puppy and a newborn child. I never got the chance to talk to the people in the car in front of us that we hit, but I did see them, and I saw the baby after I was removed from the car by police officers. It was a really devastating thing. I will never forget what those people looked like. After the accident, I was really struggling with anxiety. I was hospitalized for it in 2014. I am to this day taking medicine for it every day. 200 milligrams of Zoloft every day to help with my anxiety. It does help with everything that I'm still struggling with, but it doesn't cure anything.
I had like gotten into like a fight like maybe like 3 weeks before, and then like the night of her crash I had this dream where she like came in like in my like dream world and she like hugged me and like everything felt like good, and I woke up and I was like, oh, maybe I'll text Casey. And then I get this text from her dad and it was like, Casey was in a serious car accident, like she's in critical condition, like I'm not sure we're gonna make it. And I just like, my heart just like sunk, because it was like I could have like, I don't know, done something or like talked to her, and now I can't because it's like she's gone.
Well, when I first heard about the accident, I was at my friend's house. Initially, I really didn't know what to do. I didn't know how serious it was. I kind of just, like, I was pacing back and forth through his house until it was about 5 in the morning. I just went for a walk. And then when I got news that it was, like, serious and she wasn't going to make it, I didn't know what to do with myself, really. I absolutely think that she made a huge mistake. In an altered state of mind, you aren't making the right decisions. With alcohol, your inhibition and everything, it's messed up.
This one time, we were like super bored. Like every day after school, I would just like run to her car and then we just hop in and we drive around and like do something. But this day we were just so bored. We were like sitting at her house and I turned to Casey and I'm like, want to cut my hair? So we drove around for a little and we saw the Dunkin' Donuts in Washington. So we went there and we went into the bathroom and she has like scissors and she starts cutting my hair in the bathroom. People are like knocking on the door. They're like, everything okay in there? And we're like, yep. And I walk out with just like 2 feet of hair just like gone. It was so weird. My personal attitude on like drinking and driving, it's like dumb. Like it's just so stupid. Because there's always gonna be somebody that wants to like pick you up and that wants to help you.
Obviously before, I thought it was, a dumb decision, and now that it's personally affected me, I just all the more reason to, think to not do it.
Just don't do it. It sounds so simple, but it's so important because there are so many lives that could be lost. There is so much at risk. It's just so important that to just not get behind the wheel.
It's a very dangerous game, and considering that it's all around us and people make choices every day, these choices have pretty severe consequences when you least expect it.
I don't think anybody should drink and drive. I think you need to be responsible and understand the impact that you have on so many other lives.
If your friend is driving, don't get in the car with them and encourage them not to drive. It's a choice, and it's a bad choice. Call for a ride, call a trusted neighbor, call somebody. Just don't get behind the wheel.
My name is Karen Wall.
My name's Officer Teresa De Silva.
Chris Foley, I'm a retired police officer.
My name is Lynn Wire.
My name is Grace Nasita.
My name is Billy Guilfoyle, and I'm Casey's brother.
My name is Patty Guilfoyle, and I am Casey's mother. I just hold hope that, I'll see her again someday. And I pray for that she's resting in peace.